Welcome to Smut and Sensibility,
a podcast for romance readers and romance writers.
By romance readers and writers.
We are Amber,
Aly,
and Marie,
a group of learned ladies who love talking about the romance genre.
In this podcast, we will talk about our favorite books, writing craft, and how we make room for a creative life in real time.
So buckle up and enjoy the ride. Welcome back to Smut and Sensibility. For those of you who are new, I'm Amber. I'm a corporate attorney by day and a romance reader and writer by night.
I'm Aly. I'm a doctor, writer, and part-time student studying history at Oxford. And then here, our esteemed friend and book doula and chancellor of Smut University, we have Sam Tschida. She is going to be joining us today a little bit later to talk about her upcoming book release, Undead and Unwed, but she's also the author of Siri, Who Am I?, Aaron's at Espionage, and the forthcoming Gabby Green Knows Who's Done It. Today, we're going to start with our Book Nook section, and Sam, we'd love for you to be a part of that. So if you have a book ready, we can fire that up and give our recs for the week. Who
Right
wants
on
to
the
start?
spot. Give us a recommendation.
Right. Okay. I am recommending, I even have a copy right here. The Princess
So do
and
I.
the PI by Nikki Payne. Look at that. Oh my God. It's like
She's
a
gorgeous.
Nikki Payne party. I'm so excited about this. I have to admit, I did help Nikki edit this one. So I'm like, because we're longtime buddies. But I love this book so much. I love that it's her first suspense novel. I love Maurice, who is a character from Pride and Protest, and he is so sexy. He was kind of the bad brother, kind of like, I mean, like you were like, oh, Maurice, you're being such a loser in Pride and Protest, and in this one, he's the hot hero. I love him. He's like serious and good, and I'm like, oh, Maurice, you've grown so much. It was so good to see. And then Fiona is a total baddie. I mean, you can see it on the cover. I mean, it's Nikki, so we start out with the masturbation scene, which I love about Nikki. She's a Reddit sleuth, which I love, which is such a fun and modern take on amateur sleuthing. You can always count on Nikki for a fun and modern take on something, and she delivers, and her voice always. She could write anything, and I'd read it because her voice is just so strong.
It's just
That's it.
magical.
Magical.
Like, page one, you are in it, and it's funny and witty, but like very smart and serious at the same time. I was like so torn in to this religious extremist group of being like, like gut wrenching from the beginning, and like,
Absolutely.
Fiona, girl, get out. And like, I was hooked, wanting to see the arc of what happened. Obviously, no spoilers, but I was just like, Fiona, I want you to do A, B, and C. And so I
know
could not put it down.
Yeah, I'm about halfway through, and I agree. I love the Reddit sleuth piece. I think that's just really fun. And, I love a true crime podcast as well. So it has that feel a little bit to it as well. And I agree, Amber, like the interrogation of kind of religious fundamentalism and how that informs, like, particularly in this case, like women's opinion of self. And that plays such a big role in Fiona's character arc. I thought it was great. I'm not done yet, but I'm excited. I'm excited to be reading it.
I do have to say too, like, okay, being an author, it's really hard to personalize books when you're signing them on the spot. And I had not looked at this, but Nikki signed it for me, and it says, "Thank you for being the best dead body a girl could ask for." Because I played a dead body in her TikTok earlier that day, which was
epic.
It was
so
epic.
good.
I'm really proud of being part of that TikTok, and you can put it in my obituary. Like, was in one of Nikki Payne's TikToks.
I mean, are you getting an IMDb credit soon? Because I mean,
I hope so. I should be. I was good at that.
Oscar-worthy. Oscar-worthy.
The way that you let your leg completely dead flop was like very impressive. Like you didn't even try to move it. It was just absolutely just jello leg, and it was mastery.
I was super proud of that. I have had people come up to me and ask me, "Were you the dead body in that video?" And
amazing.
And I'm like, "Yes, that was me." Yeah.
Someone and then Terrell in the basement screaming help.
Yeah.
That was so good. You definitely need to add that to your author bio, Sam.
Yeah.
Yes, I published these books, but I also was a dead body at Nikki's.
Maybe I could be on some like detective shows soon.
You could.
They always need dead bodies.
Yeah, I can do it.
It's your new side hustle.
Yeah.
Not that you need a side hustle.
Can look dead.
Realistically looks very dead.
Especially in like Minnesota winter, like getting pasty, just
I can be pasty as hell. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how you're like Minnesota winter. I feel like Sam and I are pretty white all year round. So like even
also
summer
me
we
too.
could probably play a dead body.
Also me too.
Absolutely.
You can see the veins in my legs. So yeah.
You know, and I'm big on sunscreen, so even if I go somewhere, I'm gonna do my best not to get tan.
That's right.
But
I
now
can
you
I can
can
play a
say
dead
it's
body anywhere.
because I need to make sure for my acting career, I need to put sunscreen on
Yeah,
all the
my acting
time.
career. That is my first role, hopefully not my last. Yeah.
Amber, do you want to go next with your book?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. What am I reading? I just finished listening to Mate by Ali Hazelwood, and this was duet narration by Ellie Gossage and Teddy Hamilton. A little nugget for those of you listening who maybe haven't done a lot of audiobooks yet, but my goal is to recruit you all through this podcast. The difference between duet and dual narration: duet means that the narrators will each take their own lines, even in the same chapters, whereas dual narration is typical that they each read their own chapter from their character's point of view, but they'll also read for the other character's lines within that chapter. You may ask, why isn't everything done duet since it's really popular and many people love it? Well, with like most things, it takes more time and money to produce that way. And as much as I do love duet narration, I have really loved a lot of dual narration productions as well. It's just a little different. One is not necessarily better than the other, so don't let that stop you. But I just thought I would give that little side nugget because I remember I was like, what's the difference between duet and dual? And they both started with a D. I was like, I don't know what the difference is. Okay, so in Mate, we met Serena in book 1. So this is book 2. The first book is called Bride. And Serena is a human hybrid who was orphaned and raised with her vampire sister, Misery. And she's the first of her kind, and she was hoping to heal the rift between the species by going public with her hybrid existence. But instead, of course, it has put a target on her back because society and people. Her last option is to seek refuge with the alpha of the Northwest Pack, Cohen Alexander. But the only snag is she is his mate, but he has made it clear from their first meeting that nothing will ever happen between them, but he will stop at nothing to keep her safe. So as I said, I read Bride, which is the first book in this series, and as an Ali Hazelwood fan, I knew what I was likely getting, and I devoured the audiobook while doing errands and chores and getting ready for our writing retreat. But this paranormal series is a little different for Ali, that it wasn't like her popular women in STEM romances. I still really enjoyed it. Some of the tropes were predictable, but if anyone has read any paranormal romances before or werewolf romances, it fits the genre in my opinion, and I really enjoyed it. I think if you go into this series thinking it's going to be exactly the same as her STEM romances, that would be a mistake and possibly not a fair comparison or review of this series because it just simply isn't the same genre. However, there is a little bit of genetics in this book, which is really fun. So there's still that Easter egg treat in there to get your STEM fix. My sister is a genetic counselor. So Amanda, I'm pretty sure you're listening. You should definitely pick this one up. Also, the spice is hot, hot. So be prepared for that. And there is some werewolf specific anatomy coming your way. If you know, you know. So that is what I read this week.
I know a lot of people are enjoying Mate right now. I have had a couple of friends text me and be like, "Oh my god, this is it. This is so good."
I liked the cover.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay, yeah, we'll put the cover here.
Haven't read it.
I
We'll put
have the
cover
book,
here.
but I'm pretty sure it's upstairs with my roommate Katie right now. So I was planning to hold it up because I am now her dealer of romance books and I am just like sucking her in. So like yay her and yay me. But we'll
That's
insert the
great.
cover because it is really pretty.
It is, and it's
Yeah, it is.
striking.
It
It's
is a good
striking. I mean, like speaking of covers, I'm sick of the cartoon cover trend, but hers does do it's a little
It's
bit
like a
more striking.
silhouette.
It's
Yeah,
silhouette.
like
I don't know.
contrast. I
Yeah.
agree.
It's almost like, I don't know if comic booky is like the right word,
Yeah.
but like it has like that different like illustration style that it's not just a
Pulpy
true
maybe or something.
cartoon. Yeah, there's something extra that's going on. I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. You're done. You're done.
Sam is
Done.
over it. I need
Over it.
some
Over it.
What do you want?
variation in her
So
life.
Don't ask me what
I
I
have
want, but I'm sick of
okay.
cartoons. Don't you feel like we should be taken? I mean, like, I love cartoons are cute, but like, I feel like in some ways it makes it look less serious, and we're already not taken seriously. So screw that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
put
think
a
that's
Renaissance
true.
painting on there again. I like it when I like some fancy old school stuff.
Just
Yeah,
like old
yeah.
fashioned man without shirt on, like 80s, 90s. Are you
Yeah,
looking for
Fabio.
yeah, that's
that,
good.
Sam?
I
Like some
always love that.
Fabio.
That's
Give
that's that's
breakout
old school. Yeah,
male model his new role to fill Fabio's place.
sure, that's great. I could do that.
Yeah. I do have a soft spot in my heart for the illustrated covers, but I think some of them I'm just like, I feel like this could be better. And I have heard that like they're kind of phasing them out. So I'm interested to see what we're going to get, or if we're going to get
Oh,
something similar to like the early 2000s where it was just like, a high heel on the cover or like a glass of wine on the cover and
Like
nothing
very
else.
yeah,
Like,
like Sex in the
generic,
City.
vague.
yeah,
Okay, for people who are watching, well, this book that I did buy purely for the cover, Tarantulas.
ooh, that is
I mean,
good.
I mean, a cat.
it's so glitzy. It's so Housewives of, what was it? I don't know. Also, I bought it too because of the cover and it says like Little Women on an ayahuasca trip. How could I not buy that?
How could
Done.
you not buy that?
Yeah.
That was screaming to you.
Yeah.
All right. My book that I want to talk about is Faster by Andie J. Christopher. We'll put it over here.
Can you
I
make
have
vroom
that one
vroom noises?
I know.
Vroom vroom. I actually have that one
Vroom,
too.
vroom.
But we sent it to Patrick all the way to the Middle East. So Andy's book is going to go far because he's a big
Oh my
F1
gosh, you sent it to
fan.
Patrick.
I just sent it
That's
to him.
okay.
I am secretly hoping that like he reads it and then passes it around. So it's like the romance book going around, but like knowing Patrick, he probably won't. And I respect that. But like that's my hopes and dreams for this copy of Andy's book that's being sent all the way to the Middle East.
That's incredible. That is definitely one to pass around. It's an F1 romance, and I feel like it's different than I think other F1 romances for a couple of reasons. But this one is like a multi-character POV book. It's hot. Like there is pretty much like sex immediately, which is always a fun way to start off with a bang, as they say. And we follow three couples. We have Cece and Ethan and Luca. So we have like an MMF situation. Cece and Ethan are married. She finds out he's cheating on her and she runs to his former teammate slash, maybe there was a little something happening romantically between the two teammates. And they've always had a connection. And a lot of the story is how they are navigating their throuple relationship. And then we have Michaela and Liam. And Michaela is like the first female driver officially on the grid, which is amazing. We love to see it. I'd love to see it in real life. And that is an age gap storyline with Michaela's ex-boyfriend's dad, who is also owner of the team. And if you are an F1 fan, it's giving Daddy Toto Wolff vibes and it's really good. Like it's so good. There's like a great scene in the back of the private jet. So and then Ethan and Paula is the third couple. And Ethan is Michaela's ex-boyfriend, the son of Liam. And he's kind of just the spoiled man-child. And he has an interest and a relationship with Paula, who is their social media kind of PR person. So she kind of pulls the reins on Ethan, and that's like also a fun dynamic to see. I really felt like this could absolutely be a certified slump buster. Another certified slump buster that I always recommend is The Earl Takes All, which is the Crazy Gorilla book by Lorraine Heath. I think that bonkers is the way out of a slump. So if nothing that you're reading is hitting and you're like, what am I doing right now? Pick up this book. I would really recommend it. It feels very glitzy. It feels very glossy. It takes place in Monaco, but it follows the entire F1 season throughout their different races on the grid. And it does feel a little bit like Bravo. And I am like a former Real Housewives devotee. And it's really clear that Andie is an F1 fan. And actually, Andie talking about Drive to Survive several years ago, I think it was in the pandemic, she had like she was talking about it on another podcast. And I was like, that sounds really good. I think I would love that because I love sports gossip. And so it's the perfect vehicle for that. And yeah, it's really amazing. I would definitely recommend it. Even if you're not an F1 fan, I think you can definitely get the vibe, but it's also like, if you know, you know. So we recommend.
I love that. Sam and I actually got to go to Andy's release party in
Yes.
Minneapolis at Tropes and Trifles, which was so great. Nikki, and we just have all the great authors today we're talking about, moderated that panel. But she talked about how she first she was an F1, a big F1 fan, and then did like lots of research. And it definitely like showed in the book. And there were some pretty core F1 fans there that were just so excited.
Yeah.
And you could tell like there were times where I'm like, I'm not this deep into F1, but I'm so excited that like Andie and someone in the audience were just like rabbit holing, geeking out. It was really fun to see that. I think even some like really hardcore F1 fans were like drawn to this book because it was like, oh, there's an F1 book, fiction and romance. So
I think some of
she
those
just
people
killed
were
it.
there I don't even know if they've ever read a romance book. They were like,
Yeah.
oh, F1, here we are.
Yeah, for sure. Like in their
Good way to
gear,
get a
like
new
in all of
audience.
their garb, front
Yeah.
row, like F1. And I was like, shoot, Sam, we wore the wrong outfits
Yeah.
to this event.
And I
We
was
just
like
hooted and
F1.
hollered in the back row to make up for it.
I was like F1, what, like a small tornado? You
Oh my
know?
God.
Oh,
That's some like Midwest humor right there.
but
Yeah, I know.
chink. That's a dad joke. That is a
Yeah, like,
hard
Sam.
Yeah, I know. Not even going in the basement for this one.
Oh my God. It's just a funnel cloud. It's fine.
Yeah, whatever.
It's fine. You're
We can
sitting,
keep
you're
my
outside in
God.
your yard with your hands on your hips, the dad mode, watching the
Still
clouds form. It's just a F1. We're fine. We're
keep
fine.
barbecuing.
Keep barbecuing. And then mom and the kids are like freaking out trying to get
Yeah.
down there. And she's
Oh
yelling.
my gosh. My sister, there was like an error in the siren system. So like the sirens went off one day and she was home alone after school. And so when my mom came home from picking me up from whatever I was doing, my sister was like in the basement with the dog and like 25 of her stuffed animals. Like those were the essentials that had to like be in the basement. Yeah.
That is the cutest thing ever.
And it had gone off on the TV too. Like it was like emergency, whatever. And so she was like, I gotta grab all my stuffed animals and the dog and go down to the
Yeah.
basement.
Oh, she's like,
That's
I'm gonna save
adorable.
us. I'm gonna
Yeah.
save us. Oh,
Yeah.
heartstrings.
I was like,
That's
no
so cute.
snacks, like nothing else, but that's
She
okay.
doesn't need it.
Yeah, it's fine.
She will just survive.
Oh my goodness.
I like how Allie's like, I would have brought the snacks. Like, screw the
would've
stuffed
definitely brought the
animals.
snacks.
I just would bring the cabinet
Yeah.
of like the Gushers and like Nutri-Grain bars.
All the good 90s snacks, like the Dunkaroos,
The Kool-Aid, was they blasts that like the
oh
top
yeah, the Kool-Aid
popped off?
Blast. And like the drinks that like had like the twist off, what were they called?
Oh, those were nasty.
Do you know
Yeah.
do you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
I
Where it was
They're
don't.
just
plastic.
basically like food dye. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was like a white.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
So
showing
like
our age,
it wasn't
but you're
like
all welcome.
Mambas, but it was Mambas are like a chewy, also
Yeah,
90s
those are
candy. Those are good.
candies.
Yeah.
As we side note into all our favorite 90s snacks.
Yes, all of our 90s nostalgia.
separate mini-sode for another day.
Separate minis out.
All right, everyone. Now on to Craft Corner. This is when we're going to talk usually about a craft book, break it down, writing, anything that's going on in the industry. And more excitingly, when we have guest authors, it's going to be Craft Corner. And today we have our first published amazing author, Sam Tschida. Everyone cheer. Woo! Yeah.
Cheer for myself.
Confetti.
Sam Tschida.
We're so excited that you're here. Thank you so much for coming on the pod. And chatting with us today and just hanging out like we do.
Problem.
You have a book coming out on October 28th called UNDEAD and UNWED. And I have a copy here. This was my first ARC that I ever received from an author.
Yes,
so I'm
wait,
so
here's mine.
excited. Aly,
Oh, yeah,
do you
here we
have a
go.
copy? Here we go. So Sam's version is what's the actual published cover. So in stores, look for Sam's version. But these were the ones we got ahead of time that we were able to like read and geek out over. So I'm just so excited. Can you tell us a little bit about this book?
Oh, yeah. I suppose I should have like that tip of tongue all the time. But yeah, it's a vampire novel, which I don't know if you can tell from the cover, but it is a vampire novel. But it's I pitched it as Bridget Jones vampire, 300 years old and still doesn't have her shit together. That's how I pitched it. And I think it sort of fits that. Your book always turns out a little different than how you originally imagined it. But it's a vampire who doesn't have her shit together, and she inherits an inn in Vermont. So she ends up, after like having accidentally like almost killing somebody in LA, she hightails it to Vermont and goes Hallmark. Now she's like, I'm going to live out my Hallmark fantasy now that, my life has really gone to shit in LA. So it's a vampire in a Hallmark movie.
No, I love it. I think that's the piece that I was very intrigued when it was like, okay, when you are a hot mess, 300-year-old vampire and your stolen identity as Tiffany inherits this inn, and there's also sort of like a mystery of like, what happened to Tiffany, the real Tiffany that made her like want to sell her identity on the black market, that then our Tiffany from 300 years ago, our vampire, gets her secret identity. So I thought it was great, and I do love the contrast of a vampire, but like make it a Hallmark holiday romance. So
I agree. I love the dichotomy of that. And two, typically I feel like And I'm sure there are some, but I haven't read or seen them. But vampire novels or movies or books are usually like, you know, dark, dreary, or they're powerful, and those are really fun, or like a super sweet. Where I love that this is so relatable, like the mundane. Like, what would really being not able to die in undead, like if you were in the majority in the middle? Like, you're probably not a royal vampire with all the power to make the rules, but you still have to follow these rules in society. So I thought that was really intriguing, and she's just so relatable, because we've talked about this before, but like most of us, I think, are hot messes at some point in our lives. Like, adulting is hard.
sure.
We're all working. We're trying to do all the things in our life. And sometimes society, or just in general, you want to try to like put on this face of like perfection, or I have all my shit together, or I need to be perfect and show up all the time, where it's just like impossible. And sometimes you just can't do it. So I can't imagine after 300 years, like, you just did such a good job of painting what that would be like. And it just made me fall in love with her from the get-go, to be like, I'm excited to see what she's going to do as the roadblocks come her way.
Well, I feel like as a woman in her 40s, you know, you're like 18, 19, 20, you think you're going to figure it out and be good at adulting as time goes along. And I don't know that if by age 300 I would be great at adulting, because you still have the same personality,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
True. Yeah, that's true. And I feel like, you know,
Yeah.
when you're young, you can't wait to adult. You're like, oh, I can't wait to do what I want to do when I want to
Yeah.
do it. And then you do, and then you're like, actually, I would really like someone else to do this for me.
Yeah. So you're still just as lazy as you were at 20 or whatever was your problem initially. And if you're like, I remember Nikki read the first chapter initially and she's like, why hasn't she figured it out? I'm like, Nikki.
Nikki's like, you had 300. If Nikki had 300 years, she would be
Nikki.
just like ruling the entire world.
Oh my God, Nikki would, we would all be better for it too. My God.
Absolutely.
I know. Put Nikki in
That's
charge.
Actually, I think the solution to a lot of our
Give
problems.
Nikki
Yeah.
the power, and she will fix things.
She will
I was
fix it.
like, you and I are not operating from the same the same set of limitations, clearly.
There's a Schitt's Creek reference in here that I loved. The
Oh,
fold in
yeah.
the cheese. Like, loved that. And then what else did it? I mean, you can take the girl out of law school, but can you take the tabs out of the law student?
Look at that. Yeah.
Amber,
Oh,
I
look at
mean,
Did
you.
you
so
highlight
excited.
it too? Did you highlight it?
I mean, girl.
Oh, you did.
Girl.
Look at
Of course
that.
she
did. So there's just a couple of quotes I'm excited to read, if you're okay. And if we need
Read away.
if not, we can. Okay. This is the one that when I read it, I sent it to you, and Patrick and I were dying laughing in the car while we were driving up north. So she's driving and she says, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. No hate, but the Rust Belt wasn't my scene. I'd already lived through the Middle Ages. I didn't need to spend time in Indiana.
I
and as someone who lives in the
that.
Midwest, I feel like we can write that and laugh about it. It was so good. Like,
I thought it was so funny
Patrick-
when you sent that, because my editor wanted me to take that out. I think because she was probably worried I was going to offend people in the Midwest. But I'm like, I'm from the Midwest.
I feel seen.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
seen in this joke. And it's even more funny living here to know that, like, yep, culturally, there are parts that are just like that.
Yeah. There's just some places that are not that fun to drive through. And I would categorize Nebraska, Indiana, and Ohio as probably my top 3.
Yeah, just like flat. No hate. We still love you who live there. There's fun things to do. We know this. But like doing a long road trip, that's the part where you're dozing off and you do like change the music, open the window, and buy a snack.
Gotta shake up the energy, because
call
a lot
a friend.
of corn.
Talk about faster, because that's high adrenaline. So you just call a friend and be like, tell me about this book.
I grew up in, Western South Dakota, and I drove across South Dakota probably like once a week for years of my life. And, it was really only interesting if there was a tornado.
That's why Sam's like outside watching the tornadoes to this day. There's sirens going off. Someone haul Sam's ass in the basement.
Yeah.
She's going to go up Dorothy style.
Oh my God.
Okay, just 2 more. So there's a part in the book where Tiffany goes to therapy, which I don't want to like divulge too much of that, but that also is just like chef's kiss. Like, how many of us are in therapy or probably should be in therapy? So that too is like, she's fine, I'll try this therapy thing everyone's doing. One quote that just really stuck with me: loneliness is the kind of hurt that bleeds you slowly rather than all at once. I was like, oh, Sam.
That was so true.
So
I can't even
in my stomach.
I forgot I wrote that.
You're like,
that's good.
you're like,
That's good,
good on
me.
you,
That
Sam.
is so good, Sam.
Good job, Pat Sam. No, and I
Yeah,
loved the
Sam.
therapy interaction too. It was kind of giving Sopranos like reference, and I
Mm.
loved. I mean, that's so fun. Like that's such
That
a
was
fun concept.
I love I love the Sopranos. I love like Lorraine Bracco is the therapist. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, or
So
the
good.
character name. So good. And when Tony has the panic attack when he sees the duck in the first episode, oh my God. I just like
Yes.
that's one of those moments that like it just like iconic.
Yeah. Yeah. And just like what an iconic series, like a
Yeah.
mobster goes to
Yeah.
therapy. Like that's high concept right
It's great.
there.
Exactly.
High
Yeah.
concept. That's all you need. All right, last one. So this is the therapist speaking to Tiffany in one of her sessions. And she's like, very funny, Tiffany, because she says she's a vampire. But really, when you describe yourself as a vampire, I don't think you're alone. A lot of people feel as if they exist in the shadows, not participating in life. Social media has only intensified that. And I love this so much because at first I'm laughing because she really is a vampire. And the therapist is doing her job trying to deal with people who probably do like have different personality disorders, but like really she's a vampire. But ultimately, like there could be people who feel like they live like a vampire being so isolated.
Yeah.
So I loved this that you made me laugh, but then also made me think within those same two lines. And I was like, God damn it, Sam, you make it look so easy. So that'll be enough of my tab assault on you all, but
Thank you,
needed to share
Amber.
those.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Everybody needs to be praised,
I agree.
It's a praise king
Yeah.
for a reason.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But you
We are
deserve
into
it.
romance after all.
It's so good. It's so good.
I agree. Um, so we have our doesn't have it together 300-year-old vampire, Bridget Jones, little Hallmark Holiday. How did you come up with this combination of ideas, and how did this book come to be from your brain?
Well, you know how I was saying, like I was like, I'm in my 40s and I still don't feel like I have it together. And like that kind of, I just kind of feel like her. Like when I wrote my initial blurb, Daphne, my middle child, said, "What is this, your memoir, Mom?"
Daphne Wood, she's
Daphne is
so
savage.
brutal, but not in a mean way. It's just like it's
No.
a fact in her
Yeah, I
head,
know.
and she
Like that
just
was,
in the moment
yeah,
slices you.
yeah. That was cold and true. The woman who doesn't have it together. That was on my like my idea list for, I swear to God, like years and years and years. And I'll send it to my agent or an editor when I'm trying to sell a book, or what I'm like, what do you want next? And it was just tacked on. It was at the very end, like a couple incomplete sentences, whereas I had a lot of other really well developed ideas. And when I sent it to my editor at Quark, she was like, that one. And I was like, God damn it. Because some of the other books I had actually written. And I was like, I would have really preferred in some ways if she picked a book I had already written.
A lot less work.
It
Lot
would have
less
been
work, like
so much less work for me. But there wasn't a whole lot of story. There's no plot in a woman who doesn't have her shit together and she's 300 years old. I remember my editor telling me I needed to figure out how I was going to hang it together with a story. And she sent me an email, and I think she had mentioned Hallmark in there, and that just took off. And I was like, oh, Hallmark, Hallmark, Hallmark. That's it. That's what I want. Because I was like, it's perfect because every Hallmark heroine is likable and kind of perfect in a way that is not relatable. Like that's my biggest problem with Hallmark. It's a pet peeve actually, which is why I took off with this. There's always a woman. She's so likable. She's perfect in a way that reinforces every stereotype that women shouldn't have to live up to.
yeah,
And that
such a good way to put it.
that we're nurturing, there's nothing wrong with owning a bakery. There's nothing wrong with being kind to your neighbors. Those are great things. But it just gets right in there in the expectations for women that are centered in like the things that we should be, that society wants us to be. Like the Hallmark is just right there. And it drives me nuts because how many people are that? So I was like, let's put a vampire in there. And she's the opposite of everything a woman should be. And I'm going to throw her
At
in
least
this
what
situation.
society says she
Yep.
should be.
Yep. And I think makes it difficult though to sell a book like this in some ways because she is an unlikable female heroine, which is notoriously one of the most difficult types of books to sell. You have to like nail that.
I think you did a good job
Let's hope
I do
doing
so.
too.
that because when you say she's unlikable, when I read it, she's unlikable in that Hallmark stereotype, like that old formula that's been used over and over again. that she's unlikable if you're trying to fit her in that mold, right? But like she is likable in a lot of other things. It just shows up in different ways, or she isn't just the quote unquote like all of those perfect little characteristics. So I think you did that really well, and it's a hard thing to do. But again, like if you're going into this expecting it to be the plucky Hallmark clone, that is not who Tiffany is.
Yeah, you're not going to get that.
Don't judge Tiffany unfairly from the get-go. It's supposed to be that way, and that's part of its beauty, and it's fun. So just disclaimer for people who, if you want it to be exactly like Hallmark.
Yes, it's not going to be that.
And give her grace, but still give her a try, because I think you're going to love her.
And also, no, I totally agree. And I think I did not find Tiffany to be unlikable, to be honest. I could see, you know, like you said, Amber, if you're looking at the Hallmark constraints of like, you know, Hallmark movie women are very agreeable. They are in tune with like the needs of the town above the needs of their own, all of those things. Tiffany has some trauma in her past, you know, and she has like a toxic, I don't know, how would you even describe Vlad? He's like royal, but like he's kind of a himbo, but just very charismatic. He's just the guy that you keep coming back to. She has some stuff going on, and I think it was also a good move to like compare real Tiffany, as in like our heroine, our vampire, versus the identity that she has assumed, right? Like and that was, I think, intentional too. Like this super conservative, popular Christian girl that like maybe, you know, maybe there's something else going on too. So but
yep, that came up as I went along because I brought her to Vermont. Now she's living in that world. She can't avoid Tiffany.
Yeah. That's a good conflict thing too. Absolutely.
I think too, like when I was writing this, I was looking around at other vampire novels, and most popular vampire novels, the woman is the human and the male character is the vampire, because the woman is virtuous and kind and loving, and it's a more typical pattern. And it fits with what we want, or like what a lot of people want and expect. And even if they don't know they want it, like it reinforces their idea of what the world is and how things should be. And I think a lot of people, if you're looking for a comfort read, you're looking for something that reinforces your view of how the world is.
Yeah, that safety of like, this is what this is what I know the world to be. These are the constraints that, you know, I acknowledge, or maybe even you don't realize, but it feels familiar because it is reinforcing that. I also, and I'm sure that some academic has also said this too, but I think like the vampire hero and like the human heroine, like that almost feels like an allegory too for like purity, virginity, like all of those things as well.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, because the vampire heroine she's old and slutty.
She's an old slut.
Those are two things we don't like in women.
But we love it. Here we love an old slut. Here. Also, you've been alive for 300 years. Like, are you supposed to be just like now? Chaste, living in a closet because that's what society is uncomfortable with? No. Like we want to get over that. Like we want to say get bent to that stereotype.
Yeah, exactly.
Say that, we're going to say that. We don't like that stereotype. Like we should be able to live our lives until our lives are over, and whatever that looks like and brings you joy. There's no, you're at this age, you should look like this, you should dress like this, you should act like this. I hate that. I hate that. And that's, if we're honest, I think things have gotten somewhat better, but those constraints still live today in our society, and there's still judgment put upon you. So I love that, you know,
we love old sluts.
We'll just slowly be breaking that.
This is a very pro old slut podcast. Let it be known.
You come, be welcome here. We will support you in our bosoms.
We welcome all old sluts.
Speaking of old sluts, what did writing this book maybe
Where are you going with that?
Teach you? I don't know. It felt right, then it felt wrong, and then I just went with it.
I like it. I feel like I should.
And maybe nothing. That's a hard question, but did writing this book teach you anything, or did it surprise you in any way when you were writing it that you didn't expect?
Oh, well, I think one of the things it taught me is that I should probably listen to what I need more. Like, you know, like this had some pretty tight deadlines. And if I need 3 more weeks to make a book like perfect, I should say, hey, I need 3 weeks. Sometimes I act a little bit too much like the typical Hallmark heroine, and I'm trying to be accommodating and nice and good. And I think it's probably, I'm like, this is like, Sam, be more of an old slut and less of a Hallmark heroine. That's what I learned by writing this book.
You well, you were writing 2 books at the same time. Like
Yeah, it
that was
was.
not, and that wasn't the timeline that you had aspired to. It was supposed
No,
to be
no,
do
that
one,
was,
finish
yeah.
one, second half of the year, do one, finish one.
And
Yeah,
not
well,
only that, but I feel like on the sidelines, we watched that like they would constantly change your deadlines and then also put unrealistic constraints on you. I don't know how you just didn't blow your top. I was blowing my top for you on the sidelines, being like, what? Now they just want her to get it done in 3 days? Like she has a life and something else to do. So, I mean, the fact that you even finished with all of those moving goalposts, I think speaks to your professionalism and your creativity. And I don't know how you did it. And I love that moving forward, you're going to be an old slut and be like,
I'm gonna be an
I'm
old
not going to
slut.
do this
Yeah,
painfully.
I'm gonna be
I'm
an
not
old
going to
slut.
do this painfully
Well,
anymore.
I say I'm gonna be an old slut, but it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
It's a
Okay, you are
process.
deeply Midwestern. I think you're going to have to apologize,
Yeah, I
to an
know.
inanimate object at
You're going
some
to be
point.
mean
So
and then you're going to be
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I got to go.
Yeah,
But I meant what I said. See you later.
No, yeah, no, I'm.
Oh,
Yep. I think that's kind of the thing about being an author is difficult though, because you're kind of the low man on the totem pole, even though you're the one who has to produce the majority of the work. It's not like everybody else doesn't do a ton of work, but you have to write a 350-page book, which isn't insignificant.
yeah.
no.
And it's a business.
We're both
right?
trying to do that right now.
Yeah,
I
it's
can say,
pretty
can
serious.
confirm.
It's
It's a time commitment.
I know, and you want to make it good, so you get another contract, and someone wants to buy it. You have to make it's a lot to balance because you want to make it marketable, you want to make it readable. You have a lot of demands to satisfy. I'm kind of excited though because I thought my book was too long, but I'm excited. I'm looking at the Princess and the PI here, and it is way longer than my book. I'm like, oh, Nikki, you bad girl. Look at this, 466 pages. I was like,
she's a thick girl,
she is. She's thick.
in all the best ways. Yeah, I said it.
Yes.
I was getting in trouble for 347 here.
Book positivity.
No. Yeah, whatever. Princess and the PI is thick, which
Berkeley
she is.
has different requirements.
Yeah.
Berkeley let her go.
Yeah, they did. But anyways, though, I'm gonna be an old slut in the future. That's it.
I love it.
And then I might want to write a really likable, easy thing every now and then because just to make my life easy. Can you make your life easy though? Every project is different, and then you find out like you'll find a new challenge in every project. There's just no way.
I think that's I think that's a great point because you could set yourself up for something where you're really excited to write about it. It's, coming out very quickly and you're like, wow, I'm making really great progress, but there could be editorial issues. Like there's just so many parts of this process that you can meet resistance. And yeah, I think the thing that was crazy watching this happen kind of in real time was just they were 2 separate publishers that you were working with. So like the fact that
Each other.
essentially working for essentially 2 different people with 2 different timelines that all at once seemed to converge. So
Yeah. Yep. It was a real perfect storm type situation for me at a couple of points in the last year.
And there you were at the helm of the boat by yourself on the big wave, being fine. I feel like how many times did you like, it's fine, I'll be fine. It made me think of that Ross. We should put it in here, the meme where Ross is like,
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was you trudging through all the muck.
I did love though, it was kind of perfect because this book takes place at Christmas, and I did do a revision at Christmas. Like I got up at 5 a.m. every morning over Christmas and was finishing this before the kids woke up. And I mean, it was kind of have fond memories of that. It was bad,
Aw.
but it was also good.
Oh,
Like
Yeah.
Christmas
Yeah.
time and
Christmas time.
Yeah.
I spent Christmas with Tiffany, 5 a.m.
you spent it with Tiff.
I
getting up
did.
at 5 a.m. to meet somebody else's deadlines they put upon you is just infuriating, right? Like it's somebody else's fire that created it, and it doesn't matter who created it, but you have to deal with it. But what could make it better? Christmas.
Christmas. And then,
Christmas.
and ultimately it's my
Or as
book.
Tiffany says, Christmas, because she
Christmas.
can't actually say
Yeah, I
know, I can't
Christmas.
say Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas.
Christmas. Yep.
Yeah. You had mentioned kind of the hot mess being something that you had wanted to write for a while, the hot mess heroine.
Yeah.
Were there any other id list items that you
Oh, yeah.
worked into this book, big or small?
I was looking at my id list because I saw that on your question list. And I don't know if I wrote the id list before or after this, but I was like, It was vampires, dead body comedy. I love dead body comedy, you know, like Harold and Maude or Weekend at Bernie's. Those are some of my
Yes.
favorite movies.
You love a Hearst.
I love a
You
hearse.
love a hearse.
I love a
You
hearse.
love a Hearst.
A hearse in like a hearse in a drive-through. I think that's hysterical.
Yes.
So fucking
Yes.
funny. That's my favorite thing. Like, so just like,
Can you imagine in real life if you saw that? It would be hilarious. You'd be like, what's going on? And
I love
like
it. I
double
love
take.
that.
You'd be like,
I love
that's
that
a Hearst
stuff.
in a drive-through. And is there a body in the back? Do you think there's a body in the back?
I wrote one of my, I have a starter book that was like a woman who drove a hearse. It wasn't this book, but she was taking it through a Starbucks drive-through, and that was the first scene in the book. And I thought it was so funny. I loved it. And I don't know what happened to that book exactly. I think it, you know, it got lost in the sausage making of publishing.
Maybe pitch that to some comedy outlets you may or may not be working with.
Yeah. Yep. I think those were some of my A-list items that I like dark comedy. Love dark comedy. I love bad boy heroes that aren't perfect. I just hate perfect character, including a hero. I don't want anyone who's been in too much therapy. I want them to be a mess. I want everyone to be a mess. So that's on my id list.
And I do think that there has been a trend for like more perfect people
Yeah.
especially in contemporary romances lately. Everybody and listen, I love therapy. Therapy's the best. But like, sometimes there needs to be a little bit more plot. Like sometimes there's got to be a little bit more of a character arc, and like you could maybe, use therapy as a way to like have somebody work through in real time. But I think
Yeah.
that what's been happening is that some of these heroes particularly, I feel like, are coming a little bit more evolved.
Fully
And
formed.
yeah, and I think that is, it's cool in a way of like that's what we were saying that we're wanting, right? Where we're sort of manifesting that like it's a response to other
It's hard out
other
there
behaviors.
dating.
But
Yeah.
also it kind of makes for a boring romance novel a little bit.
Yeah, it is.
So
I mean, I understand it. It's definitely a response to toxic masculinity. I mean, I don't know if I want to say the shortage of decent men out there, but also I kind of do want to say that. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I love men. I love men, but there's a lot of bad behavior.
We're all married to
For
men.
sure.
So
Yeah,
like
we're
we
all
love
married to
men,
men.
but just like in
We're all
any
married
group
to
of
men.
anything,
We love
there are
them.
good eggs and there are
Yep.
bad eggs.
I don't want to write the world that I want to see from the beginning because that's like a Thomas Kincaid painting. It's not like
Right. Yeah.
It's not like art. I want to have a character who needs to grow and evolve in order for a happily ever after to occur or for that person not to earn a happily ever after. I do not want to write the world. I do not want to read the world how I think it should look because I don't know, that's just not interesting to me. I want to read something interesting.
Yeah. And the messy bits are the
Messy.
interesting part.
Exactly.
And how you deal
and
with it. What are you going to do? Like, how would that character respond that feels authentic to that character in their personality, their past traumas? And if everyone is evolved and there's no real hurdles to overcome, we're just kind of like, which is great. Like, we're just by the fireplace every night doing a puzzle and drinking wine. And I love that for me in real life, but that's not going to make me want to keep turning them to the next chapter.
It's like starting people at the happily ever after, and then that's very difficult to find conflict to move a reader through the book or to move a writer through, like, what am I going to write about?
yeah.
Although I do think, I mean, you could probably come up with some really good conflict with an overly perfect character, but probably them
And then they
butting.
explode. Maybe
Yeah.
they've just been holding it in forever. They've been masking the whole time and then they just explode.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. And
Traffic on the
I think
parking
like
lot.
the self-improvement, therapy arc is really important, but like have it on page, like
Yeah.
that is much more compelling. And I think it's much more compelling to have the war between old behaviors and bad habits and having to choose to make better choices, both for ourselves and for the people that we love. That's an interesting story.
Breaking
And
patterns.
I think that's what we're trying to ask of ourselves and of our loved ones like every day, right? So nobody's perfect. So I
No.
don't want to read perfect.
Nope. No perfect. It's boring. Perfect is boring.
Perfect is boring.
Yeah.
And sets unrealistic expectations too, at least for me, that I've recognized in my own self, like when I see it and like trying to hold myself to certain standards. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're stressed out. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
It is okay if everything in your life isn't perfect. And maybe we're wasting a lot of time and energy and anxiety focusing on that, like, oh my God, it's not perfect. Maybe I should make it perfect. Maybe we should just let that go and just live our lives and like focus the energy on the things that bring you joy and like reinvest in yourself. But that's hard too.
Yeah. So we can find you and your new book on October 28th, Undead and
Yes.
Unwed. You're having your release party at Tropes and Trifles.
Woo woo.
We did want to ask you a couple of other questions, sort of about what else you're doing, because you are doing
Oh,
other things
yeah, I am doing other things.
other than writing novels. Not that that's some small feat, because it's certainly not. But we obviously know you because you are
Yeah, I run
our
Smut
head.
Uni
You
I'm
run
your head
Smut U.
mistress. I run Smut
You're our
University.
head
Your head
mistress.
mistress. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I run Smut University, which is I never know how to describe Smut U, a school of writing, a writing cooperative, but it's a bunch of writers who have usually works in progress. You don't have to be a romance writer. I have science fiction, mystery, literary fiction people in the group. I just called it Smut because if you join a group called Smut University, that means you have a sense of humor about yourself. Anyone who takes themselves too seriously is not going to be fun to work with. So I want everyone to
Valid.
yeah, it's so true.
You've built a good group of people.
It is. It's an amazing group of
It
people.
is.
It's an amazing group of people. Smut University
And
is delightful.
we actually tried to initially record this podcast at the retreat
Yeah.
2 weekends ago and crashed the internet at the Victorian mansion we were all writing at.
Yeah.
So this is a redo.
So just pretend we're in our beautiful like Victorian mansion backgrounds.
Yeah. We couldn't really record on like the throne and the
all three of us sitting on the throne together, just really cozy.
Yeah.
The throne's always a highlight of that house. Absolutely. Yeah. When did you start Smut U, and how can someone join?
Great question. I started it like 2017, 2018. I did a class at a local literary center in Minneapolis called The Loft, and it was, I don't know, I can't remember what I called it. It was some kind of romance class. Afterwards, everybody wanted to continue, but the loft didn't have space. So I just moved the class into the basement and Smut University was born. And then during the pandemic, I took it online because we could no longer meet in the basement. So that took Smut University from 8 people to the group that we have now, which is 3 classes. And I'd like it to be bigger. I'd like to grow Smut University. It's a good place. But you can join Smut University.
It's a great place.
You can email.
Best place.
You can email me. If you look at my website, samtschida.com, there is a tab that describes Smut University, I believe. I haven't looked at my website recently, but hopefully it's there.
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
Aly, yes, can confirm.
Thank you. So there's a Smut University Instagram that I also don't look at.
Someone monitors it for her. So we will link all of this in the show notes.
We'll link this in the show notes if you're listening.
Yeah.
If you're listening, you can find it because Smut U is the best. And
I think we also need to talk a little bit more about what it is. So like we have every because Sam's like, it's a thing.
And we're like, let's just break this down.
Yeah. So Monday through Friday, we have Zoom writing from 9 to 11 Central Time on Zoom. And we do Pomodoro method. So 25 minutes on, like, we usually do more than 5 minutes off. I would say we get like 3 to 4 Pomodoros in that 2-hour block. And
if I'm on deadline, then I yell at you guys and I'm like,
true.
That's right.
If I'm off deadline, I'm not as strict.
Yeah. If headmistress is on a deadline, she's cracking the whip. That's for sure. And then, like Sam said, we have 3 classes, and it's workshopping. Sometimes we also do craft talks as well. We've had author talks. We talk about query letters, and we've also had like POV craft discussions and conflict and all of those things that would make a compelling story that we're talking about. And we do a lot of workshopping. So, and I think that's been like the best thing ever, is having someone read your work in real time, and just sort of that group think, and having people that are excited about your work other than yourself that you can talk to about, that know your characters.
Yeah. And when Aly says workshopping, you are showing up and you are reading your work out loud to the group. And I know that sounds really intimidating. I didn't realize that's what it was when I came to my first class, and I was like, I really started sweating.
You didn't?
I didn't. I don't think I did. I was so excited. I went to Sam's book opening and I found these people, and I was like, I want to be a part of it. This is what I'm missing in my writing community. But I think if you are on the cusp and that's what's holding you back, I think challenge yourself to try it, whether it's with Smut U or somebody else, because that really gets you comfortable and confident in your writing and sharing it. So that way you can share ideas and workshop, and then you're not afraid to share your work. So then, hopefully you get to the publishing stage. It doesn't seem like, oh my goodness, this thing has been hiding under a rock forever and I've never shared a word. And then it seems like super monumental and maybe that last block to get you there. And it's a very supportive group of people. So it's been great. So find a
It's
workshop. I think you should do Smut U, but if you don't, it's been really
Yeah.
beneficial.
It's important to have a writing community because it's so easy to stop writing. It's hard to ask your family and friends who aren't writers to support you because how are they? They're not in the book with you. You're just like staring at a computer in the corner. What they're like, it's hard to have someone else invested unless they're another writer. And if somebody gets invested in your project, they're invested in you, they're invested in your project, which is great. Even if your project dies in the end, you know somebody loved and cared about it.
Yeah.
It's important to have
Yeah. And
people care.
yeah. And I think for me, I very much was like a stop and start person before I joined Smut U. And I would have kind of these ideas and then I would get, 10 to 20,000 words into them and then sort of they'd fall apart for one reason or another. And so I think just not doing this alone is really invaluable. I know that there are some writers that are very solitary, but for me, it's been such a better experience to have like a writing community. And it also like there is that eldest daughter academic achievement motivation of like, I have to have something to
Gets
share with the
accountability.
class every
Yeah.
Tuesday.
It's
Like that
Tuesday night
accountability.
and they want
Yeah.
new stuff.
Tuesday night, I need to have something. Or if I don't have something, then we have to talk about like, this is what I'm doing next. Do we like this idea? This is what I'm trying to do, And if you get stuck too, like that's the other thing. And just making sure that you're not going off into some direction that's going to get you nowhere, keeping you on track in real time, I think is also really beneficial because we only have so much time to like write realistically.
I mean, if I'd had a community when I started, I would have avoided some of my dumber mistakes just to have somebody be like, yo, Sam, you can't, that's not going to sell. Like
Love
instead
this
of
for
writing
you,
a,
but not
yeah,
for this.
yeah, yeah. Like this is cute, but no one in their right man is ever going to buy this. So maybe you shouldn't have spent 2 years working on it. Like it's good to have someone tell you like, like these are the expectations of the genre and this is what it's going to be like when you're out there. You can self-publish that, but even then, like it's good to have some feedback instead of like living in a vacuum.
Yeah.
Agreed.
100%. So all that to say, join Smut U. We're the
Join
coolest.
us.
Join us.
We're very cool and very nice.
The way you guys said that made it sound like a cult.
Like a cult. Come join us.
Join us.
Join us in our robes. We'll serve you Kool-Aid. It's fine.
It's not a cult, I promise. Well, maybe
It's
it is
not a cult.
I mean,
it's not a problematic cult.
Not a problematic cult. Yeah.
Right. Now on to our happy endings, how we like to end every episode, because everyone deserves a happy ending, including our heroines and heroes and us included. I am really thankful for being able to unmask with friends in a safe environment. Because I was reflecting on the writing retreat that we just had, and it was just so amazing. And I think most of us wear different masks for the different roles that we play in our own lives. And for me, right now, the masks of corporate attorney and mommy are taking a lot of my bandwidth. And it just felt really amazing to just be Amber for that entire weekend, even with some of my vulnerable spots showing, because I was surrounded by my people who have seen them and love me anyways, and maybe in spite of them. So it was just a very calm, relaxing, safe feeling. And I just hope you all get to feel that at some point. And so I wanted to share that for my happy ending for the week.
That was a good
Love
one.
it. That's great.
Who's next? Dun, dun, dun.
But next, I do think because I'm now back from the retreat and it's been like full blast at work. Yeah, I think having time to just like chill at the retreat and like be with friends and just have a really good time and be in like a very creative space and have people to talk to about your work is a really awesome thing. And I'm very grateful to be at Smut U. Like there are amazing people, have met so many friends, and I feel like, my writing has gotten better, and I think I'm excited to work on like my next act of my spy novel.
I can't wait for the next act of your spy novel. I love your spy novel.
Well, good
It's
thing
so good.
It'll be a surprise to both of us because I didn't write down our conversation that I definitely counted
We can have it
as
again.
an outline.
That's fine.
Yeah, I was like, this counts as an outline.
Talking vibes with Sam always counts.
Talking vibes with Sam, that definitely counts as outlining.
Okay, my happy ending. I am struggling this week because I'm desperate to be on deadline and working, and I'm a workaholic at heart, and I want to be working, working, working. I really am. And I'm struggling with not having like a project at the moment. So I'm going to sink. I think I'll have one within a week probably, but I'm just going to sink into trying to not be as workaholic-y as normal. I'm taking my daughter to Diane's place tomorrow morning for her birthday. It's like just this restaurant. It's a Hmong restaurant in Northeast Minneapolis that was written up in the New York Times. And oh my God, it looks so good. So I'm excited to take her
That's
there.
going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm taking her and her roommate there tomorrow morning because they're on fall break. And what else am I doing? Oh, I'm reading The Reluctant Reaper because I'm moderating a conversation with Mary Janice Davidson in a couple of weeks. So I'm excited about that. It was blurbed by Charlene Harris. So I'm going to.
Oh my gosh.
I know. So I'm excited about that.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
Mary Janice Davidson wrote another book called Undead and Unwed. Is actually pretty popular. So I'm moderating a conversation with her. We'll see what she says to me. Maybe she'll be like, bitch.
Or maybe like we're the coolest in,
yeah, maybe.
in our own
I don't
company.
know.
We're above the rest.
Anyways, so I'm going to read her book. I'm excited about it.
Well, that's awesome. I love it. Sam, you have a couple of events coming up for the release
Yes.
of Undead and Unwed. And by the time that you're hearing this episode, it should be out into the world. Tiffany is upon us. Can you tell us a little bit more about the places that you're going to be and where people can find you?
Yeah, I'll be at Tropes and Trifles on October 30th, the night before Halloween. It's going to be a costume party. You can buy tickets to the event on the Tropes and Trifles website, which is just Google Tropes and Trifles. It'll pop right up. It's in Minneapolis. So there's that one. And then like a week later,
We'll put it in the show notes with links.
Yeah, November 4th, I will be in San Antonio at Nowhere Bookshop, which I'm very excited about. I went there last year and had a great time. So Nowhere Bookshop in San Antonio, they have a wine bar, and this is they have a really great book selection, a really great gift selection, wine. They have a large space for events. I think we had 70 people at Carly's thing last. So I hope somebody comes. I really hope if you're in San Antonio, please come to that so that I don't look like a giant loser in front of the owners of Nowhere Bookshop. I can't remember the woman who owns that store. I love her memoirs. Jenny, I'm having a brain fart. She wrote Furiously Happy with the raccoon on the cover. Jenny Lawson.
Oh yeah. Jenny Lawson. Yeah.
She's great.
Oh, that's her bookshop.
That's cool.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I love her.
I wish I could be in San Antonio.
Yeah, it's going to be, I know. It's going to, and we're going to have margaritas afterwards. It'll be really fun. Then after that, there's Mary Janice Davidson I'm going to be moderating that conversation. I don't remember when. That'll also be on the Tropes and Trifles website because that's through them. And the Twin Cities Book Festival is November 8th. I will be on some sort of stage there at 11:30 at the Union Depot.
You go.
I know. And then I'll be in Duluth signing books on November 15th. I think that's all I have signed for now. And then the next book, though, comes out. Gabby Green Knows Who Done It comes out in January, and we're already starting to schedule events for that as well. So
awesome.
Yeah.
And that's the part 2 follow-up of Errands and Espionage.
Yes.
And you have confirmed that Gabby and Marcus do bang in this
Yes,
book.
they do bang. Yeah. There was a lot of complaining that they didn't bang in the first book, and I added banging, so everyone can be happy. Rest easy.
I mean, this is happy endings.
Yeah. Happy endings for Gabby and Marcus too. So
Gabby gets some.
Yeah, we can't forget
awaited.
Yep. Yes. Yes. And where can people find you on social media?
I think I'm the real Sam Tschida on Instagram and maybe TikTok, and I have samtschida.com. I'm the real Sam Tschida. I know that sounds like, I don't know why I did that. It sounds like the real Slim Shady. Also,
I know, but I kind of love that.
You said there was like a football coach.
And there's a football coach.
Also has your name. Yeah.
There's a football coach.
You had to do the
Florida.
real.
Yeah. There's a football coach from Florida. He got engaged recently. I follow him. Good job. Congratulations. The other
Congratulations, Sam Tschida, on your engagement.
Football coach.
From us,
Coach Tschida.
Smut and Sensibility. We wish you your own happy ending.
Yeah. That's it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Sam, for our first ever author interview. Oh, yeah. So you can find us at TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Smut and Sensibility Pod. And then if you want to send us an email, you could also email us or go to our website at smutandsensibilitypod.com and do the contact us form if you have any suggestions for craft books or topics that you want us to discuss. And yeah, so thank you so much for joining us today. And Sam, we appreciate you and your time, and stay smutty and go forward in pursuit of your happily ever after. Bye.
Guys.